Well, it's Friday afternoon. I got a call from my friend in Brisbane. He said that he went to Costco's to do some shopping. Said it was really busy there, and it appears as if there's actually a public holiday down in Brisbane. But there ain't one here for sure, because the creche is going. I always know whether there's a holiday or not because the kids are quiet. There's no those preschoolers screaming their lungs out. But it's a normal day here, so I think it must be a show day down in Brisbane. I think they call it the Ekka. I'm not sure. I think that might be the case. And there's a bit of a breeze here, so I might truncate this. Well, just went to Coles, of course. No more condensed milk, no, the generic one anyway, on the shelves. So I still missed out on that, but got all the other stuff, I suppose. Actually, I picked up the washing liquid. It's you buy the one that's the Coles brand. It's only about $1.60, but the other name brand ones claim they've got 10% off, and they're about $7. And I found the Coles one to work fine. I've used it since I've been here, so yeah, I need to replenish that. So that was good. So I didn't buy much there. I never generally do. I want to do serious shopping, go to Woolies, but just don't feel up to the walk. I mean, I could get the bus back. Even it seems crazy because it's only a few stops back to my place, but I was so sweaty, even on a short walk like this, that yeah, going one way might be the way to go at the moment to get my fitness back. Yeah, I made myself the tuna topping for pasta. I have spaghetti, and I always enjoy it. I have a bucket load of parmesan and I just got a replenishment today at Coles. I go through those, I think about 375 ml packs of the large packs, the plastic bags of parmesan. I go through that, probably get about maybe 4 serves out of it, which is more than I used to. I used to eat more of it in the past, but now I've cut back a little bit, but I still love the stuff. So be a sad day I miss out on my parmesan cheese. Mind you, I don't have it when I go to Vietnam. There's plenty of other taste delights to make up for it, mind you. Yeah, totally different type of diet when I go over there. I switched to basically a noodle diet to a large extent. So it's good, I like it. I don't have to cook either, which is nice because I cook virtually every night here. Well, it's Sunday. It's actually a balmy day. It's going to be about top of 28 degrees. You can see pretty warm, sunny. Yeah, it's a good day to walk because it's reasonably quiet today. I need to go to the supermarket. I've got to get my condensed milk. I'm really running short. I only got 2 cans in reserve, and that's enough to keep me going for about a week, I suppose, maybe. Yeah, I think I have 2 heaped teaspoons with my coffee, a big cup of coffee, and yeah, I think I put 2 cans in. I dispense them into a plastic container, so I don't have to keep opening them all the time. So it seems to work all right, but like I say, it gives me about 5-7 days supply. So once the current lot goes, I've got one week in reserve, which is not that much for me. Last night was a quiet night. It's just typical, you know, have a really noisy Saturday or Sunday. Try that again. Have a really noisy Friday, and it's followed by a quiet Saturday night, and it was dead quiet last night, so it was a nice change. Still woke up early in the morning though. I can just chronically do that, unfortunately. Oh God, I'm sorry, the bloody wind again. I might have to do this a little later. Ambo out there. Yeah. Oh no, it's died down a little bit. Might persevere. Yeah, I got really frustrated last night with my new TV. The picture quality's great, but it's got a couple of issues. Yeah, the problem I have with my Samsung TV is it has a setting which is called audio assist, I think they call it, and it basically switches from just on screen instructions to change what you're doing to a verbal one. So it's got this woman's voice, and just never shuts up. It tells you every single thing that's happening, and I didn't want it on. Somehow I'd switch the damn thing back on, and then I had to try to work out where the hell the control was to switch it off, and it's not as easy to find as you might think. The menu system on the Samsung is a bloody nightmare, and I thought maybe there was something wrong with me, but I looked it up because I was getting so desperate to try to turn this damn sound off. And they online, someone had put a posting in saying exactly that Samsung's menus are garbage, and you want to probably get a third party one maybe to be able to do things easier, because it's just terrible. It's a shame. It's a quality picture, but that sort of lets it down the way it's set up. Yeah, so I got to the finally found the right menu. Then I tried to turn the damn thing off, pushed the button once. It looked like it probably initiated, it didn't work, so I had to go back again. Still didn't work. Go back again. I realised I got to push it twice to stop the damn audio coming on. I mean, it's just a nightmare to operate, and there's no sort of instruction saying this thing is off or whatever. It just isn't really well designed at all, and that's not the only issue I have with the Samsung either. Because I always use it with my memory stick, which I guess is not what most people use their big TVs for. They primarily probably broadcast TV, but in my case I use the memory stick. And the problem with that is, if I'm watching a show, so I want to go into the loo and just pause the program, that's fine, I can pause the program, but there's no guarantee it will actually stay in that program. A lot of times it'll toss out the image, it'll go off, and it'll just go back to broadcast. So I'll go into the loo, for instance, and get this God almighty sound coming out from broadcast TV, which is invariably an ad. So what I had to do now is actually mute the program before I actually pause it, because there's no guarantee it's going to stick. So that's really annoying, but that's another quirk of it. So yeah, it's the engineering of it's not that great, and yeah, I was actually having problems even putting the mute on. That was another thing. I don't know, maybe there's some symptomatic problems with it, although I know that as far as the audio is concerned, that's something that everybody knows about. It's just part of their design fault. So I think Samsung should really do better, because if I'd bought a cheap Chinese model, I might have had less hassles. I'm glad I didn't buy a cheap Chinese one, but Samsung need to lift their game for sure. Same with LG, apparently they've also got crappy menus as well. It's just a South Korean thing, I think. So that's pretty disappointing, but thank God for the internet, because at least I realised it wasn't just me. I've also been looking at places to possibly buy here for rental purposes, and then there's two reasons for that. One is, the obvious one is I'm just getting no returns for cash, so it's terrible. Secondly, if I do that, I can then write off that rental income against say losses on some stocks I want to get rid of. I've got some poorly performing equities in my share portfolio I'd love to get rid of, and it's really the best way to do it is if you've got profit somewhere else, like in rent, you can offset it against the losses of the shares. I've really got bugger all income from that source apart from capital gain from shares, and that's not going to happen every year, so it'd just be a nice way of actually being able to write off some of these, get rid of some of this crap in my portfolio, and clean it all up and get better performing shares. So that's something I've been wanting to do for years, and having a rental property is probably a really smart move in that case, because it will just give me an opportunity to take advantage of having shares. That's one of the advantages you've got compared to, say, a pay-as-you-go taxpayer. You can take into account losses that you're that you've incurred with having something like a share portfolio. And I'm afraid it's quite easy to get losses capital wise on share portfolios. I've had a few wins, but I've had as many losses. And Telstra took a big hit because they had a 15% drop in revenue, which is very surprising because I thought that would have been a stock that's pretty well recession proof. Everybody needs their mobiles, but I think they've got to be more ruthless with restructuring the company. Obviously there's something definitely going wrong there, because TPG and Vodafone are doing a hell of a lot better than Telstra at the moment. So that would indicate that Telstra needs to do a bit more heavy lifting, and maybe Andy Penn, who's the chairman or head honcho, needs to actually move on and get someone else who's going to make some more tough decisions. I don't know, as a shareholder I'd like that anyway. But of course they've reduced their redundancies they're going to carry out because of all the corona stuff. So I've copped it with those shares, and I've also copped it with CBA because they've been halved, the money on those. Dividends have been halved, so it's not good. So everyone's taken a bit of a beating over all this corona stuff, and the latest figures in Victoria showing that things just don't seem to be getting much better. And Dan Andrews is in no mood to ease restrictions. I think I'm suspicious. I almost wonder whether he actually enjoys. He's got some sort of morbid delight in making Victorians suffer like this. It's just, well, you know, I don't know. I don't like the guy, so of course I'd probably say that. But yeah, I think I don't expect them to get him, for the electorate to get rid of him. I think they're crazy. They're so crazy that they could move to California and fit in perfectly, or New York for that matter. Other crazy places in the world. Yeah, of course there was shortages at Woolworths. I couldn't get the low-cost condensed milk. So obviously both Coles and Woolworths get it from the same manufacturer, because this happened before. So what I might do is just halve my coffee intake each day, just have one spoon of the stuff, and hopefully we'll get the supplies back in a few weeks. Well, we'll see. Otherwise I'll be paying double what I was paying before. That's how much more the carnation variety costs, double the cost. So, you know, it's all adds up, this stuff. And that's caused because of coronavirus in Melbourne, probably. It's probably a display, a delivery disruption has taken place because of all the problems down there with the distribution centres. So, would not surprise me. So yeah, it's everybody's paying more and people are getting less in their pay packet, so it's getting pretty grim. And even though I wouldn't mind buying another property, because, you know, what's the point of having cash? You know, the prices of property is probably going to drop. Although Kansas is copping it pretty bad because of the continued ban on international travel. If that came off, you might see it rebound quite a bit. So that would be the window of opportunity to buy a place before that occurs. So there's at least a few months, and I found places that are quite reasonably priced, and I'll be very ruthless with the price I offer because I know it's a buyer's market. But yeah, it's people always got to have somewhere to live. Renting has the downside. If you have a bad tenant, of course, it can become a nightmare for an investor. That is the real downside, but the upside is the returns are probably 3 times as much, yeah, maybe more, probably more than that, but 3 or 4 or 5 times as much as you're going to get from interest on bank deposits, which is really bad distortion of the economy. It shouldn't be like that. But the Reserve Bank have stuffed things up so much. Not just this Reserve Bank, every Reserve Bank, I think, globally, they all work together anyway. And they've made it impossible for people to hold cash. So it is really destabilising the whole economy. So yeah, we'll see, but I've got to be cautious with this. I don't want to just jump in and think I'm going to get a return on my money, because that's exactly what I did with the stock market. I paid too much for a lot of stocks, so you've got to be careful when you buy. But the advantage I have is because I've already got a place here, I've got no problem about having a place to live, which is a big luxury. and I can take my time. There's no rush at all. I may even decide to move into the place I'd buy, because I saw a place on ground level, actually a unit as opposed to a flat, so I had a little bit of land as well, which would be nice. And one thing I noticed, a lot of these places have got fluoros. I mean, Jesus, they look terrible inside because they've got just only lighting is these big fluoros in bedrooms and everywhere. It just looks terrible, and it really doesn't take that much effort to convert them over to LED lights. But a lot of the people that own these places are probably investors down south, and there's going to be a lot of pressure for those guys to get rid of their properties. So, and they're obviously very hurting big time because they just can't rent at the moment anyway. Although a couple of the properties on the market were currently being leased, which was good because it means I'll get an instant cash flow from them. But I don't know what I'd be able to sell if I decided to lease out my own place. I don't know what I'd get. It'd be less than what I'd really want, I think, because it was $280 the tenant was paying when I bought it, and probably about $310 when the market was good. But right now, who knows? So, yeah, it's a very soft rental market right now, so I've got to be very cautious. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you think there's anything there of use to you, or entertainment or whatever. And either do that or give me a thumbs up, or if you're feeling really energetic, do both. That'd be great. But please don't ignore me. That's the worst thing you can do on YouTube, is be ignored.